in terms of the textiles, we also have differences. In the main parts of ancient Europe, we have a considerable sophistication. The material used is linen, other vegetable fibers. For example, in the beginning, and there's also kind of like depictions of some sort of looms. In the other outer part of the continent, the textiles are slaughter-based skins. So still, the skins are being used, the skins from the animals exactly as it was probably in times of Homo antecessor, of Homo heidelbergensis, of the Homo neanderthalensis, and also under the hunter-gatherers. Then the overall picture of under the hunter. Then the overall picture in terms of metallurgy, we do have copper that is fairly abundant in Southeast Europe. The development how to make copper, and later on also bronze, obviously with a little bit of an addition of tin, is from the Near East, because the Near East is the earliest to produce that sort of thing. For the people in Europe, it is mostly a medium of display, because remember the axis and all that sort of thing is made of stones. And therefore, if you have something that is bronze, that is probably more like to show off for a little bit of a status symbol, and so on and so forth. This is a reconstruction of Ötzi's, Ötzi the Iceman copper axe, about 3,300 BC. And the other thing that's also quite interesting is the gold, right? Gold is obtained from riverine deposits, and also that one becomes a medium of display. That would be very important. So in Europe in general, the metallurgy becomes it's more about display and show off and so forth. This male tomb of Varna, is quite interesting. I'm going to show you here. This is a tomb of Varna.
My finger is in pain. You guys, we have 13 more minutes to get one more unicorn. You guys, let's get a unicorn. What do we say? Unicorn? Maybe, baby. Nah, whatever. I tried.
It's quite interesting. I'm going to show you here. This one is a little bit of a close-up of this, of Varna. You can see, the gold platelets. Also here, everywhere you can find gold. These are all days, and even this penis sheath, right? Don't ask me why they did that, but obviously that was very important. So it becomes more like something that is, very important to them to show off, right? The Ötzi Iceman, you probably know that one. It's a very well-preserved natural mummy. He lived about 3,300 BC. That's more than 5,000 years old. Was discovered in 1991. And the interesting thing is they actually retrieved his genetic material. And genetically, he's very close to South European populations, such as you would find today in Sardinia and Corsica, which is a total surprise, right? Normally, you would have almost like expected Ötzi the Iceman to be from kind of like where he has been found, but he was not from there, which is quite interesting. Now, it's just like just wondering how far we can go. Yeah, I think we need probably a break. You said right. Yeah, so I think Yeah. Okay. So we are in for a break. Is that good? Okay. And the time is back here. It's 2:30, right? So is that okay that we make
Guys, let's get a unicorn, okay? Then maybe, okay? Let's do a little unicorn. We have 10 more minutes to get one unicorn. What do we say?
Minutes till
What do we say?
2:35. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Talk to you later. Okay. Now, when we talk about the urbanization, it obviously was starting in the, we covered that in the lecture about 2 weeks ago in Mesopotamia, where we have the Ur period from 4,000 to 3,100. So we're just wondering, how did it actually influence Europe? Now, the thing is, many of the processes of building larger settlements in Europe were already, in place. However, these processes were accelerated after 3,500 due to the fact of these developments in the ancient Near East, especially the Uruk period. So, for example, we can see in different ways, for example, the early metal forging in ancient Europe. Initially, we find, traditional forging of, X heads. You can see that here on, how they were made. Basically, you begin here, right? So you have a piece of, copper, and then you flatten it, then you do it this way, and so on and so forth. So that would be one way, or you could do something like this, or you could go until you have something like that, looks like a hole. So there's certainly, an influence there in terms of how to do it. Sorry. The other thing is the influence from the Mesopotamian urbanization. Sorry, an influence there in terms of how to do it. There's certainly, an influence there.
Chicken.
Sorry. The other thing is the influence from the Mesopotamian urbanization.
How are you?
It's not only how you do things, but also what kind of material you do use. So the Mesopotamians, as I said during that lecture, were certainly the first ones to come up with different alloys. We call that alloys, where we not only take copper, but we also add a little bit of arsenic to it. Right, that would be stronger than copper. Sometimes it is also copper with tin. And that is all. That would be then bronze. So as soon as people got hold of these different techniques, so someone must have found that out. And it appears that it first happened in Mesopotamia. So people got influenced.
Piano. I didn't think you'd come by today.
Also use two-piece molds, meaning if you want to have something that should look always a little bit the same, then you use molds, right?
How are you doing today?
Stone, then you would pour metal in it, and then you would always have the same shape. So these two-piece molds, in order to cast larger objects, were also initially from Mesopotamia, and we find that some of these techniques were adopted by the Europeans. However, there are new designs of axes in Europe in the third.
How are you doing? How are you doing today? I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking. You guys, we have 7 more minutes. We have 7 more minutes to get as many unicorns as we can. Okay, guys? Let's freaking do this, okay? Let's freaking do this. How's your day been so far?
That's an interesting thing here as well. In terms of the urbanization per se, thing that's appearing again at this.
Piano. How's your day been? Good, so, or bad? My neck hurts. It was good working. Nice. I had a lecture today and I'm also doing another one right now, but this one's online and it's just a video lecture that I have to watch. But it's like taking me a hot minute to do, but it's okay. Are you done work or are you still at work? I'm learning about archaeology right now. Done since 3 hours? Nice. What you up to today then? Just chilling now? Right. Right. That makes sense. Your English seems very good. Have you always spoken English? You had a late shift. Okay, got you.
Right. That's an interesting thing here as well. In terms of the urbanization per se, we don't have huge cities, as I said before, because the European, I would say, the European geography is actually not consistent with with the building of large cities, right? So that usually would only happen in context of, for example, a flatter ground and also a river nearby. At the same time, sediment have been growing already during the early Neolithic.
Nice.
Mention
I know
here,
when I was in Germany, I had some troubles talking to certain people, but most of the time it was fine.
And also the Reta. The Reta is especially interesting because here we find the earliest evidence of horse domestication.
Okay. What Adam's apple, you guys? What are you talking about? Do I have one? I don't know. But yeah, no, I had a good time in Germany, I'd say. You know how to use your charms? Do I? You guys, we have 2 minutes to get one more unicorn. Can we do that? Can we get one more unicorn? We have 2 more minutes to get one more unicorn. Maybe? Just maybe. You guys, we have 2 minutes and 25 seconds. 2 minutes, 25 seconds, you guys, to get one unicorn. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Maybe? Maybe.